All right, beautiful people. So this week we're talking about percents and fractions. So we're going to start with the essential question. What does a percent look like as a fraction? So let's start with this word, percent. Percent. And we're going to break it down. The word percent can be broken into two roots. The word per, which means out of, and the word cent, which means 100. Okay? So a percent is an amount out of 100. An amount out of 100. Okay? Which means if I have 100 of something, the percent tells me how much of that is a specific type. So for example, if I got 20% cash back, that means that for every $100, I get $20 back. That's a lot of money if you think about it. Okay, so percents tell you how much out of 100. So let's pause this for a second, and I want you to think, where do you see percents in the real world? Where do you see percents? Make a list, like do 2 or 3 things. Where do you see percents in the real world? And then let's share them in the chat. Where do you see percents in the real world? Okay, hopefully you paused this and you came back. Where are some places where you see percents in the real world? Well, grades are usually in a percent. Like if you got a 70%, a 90%, a 100%. Okay. Taxes, which maybe you didn't say, but maybe you did. But like taxes when you buy stuff, you have to pay like an 8% sales tax. When you pay taxes at the end of the year, when you like are an adult, that's an amount. It's a percent. If you think about current events, the vaccine has an effectiveness. Okay, the vaccine is like 95%, or masks are 95% effective. There are lots and lots of places where you see percents. So percents are probably one of the most important things that we learn about in 6th grade because they're the things that we see the most often outside of the classroom. You see them all the time, everywhere. Okay, I'm sure that you came up with other ideas. If you did, we're going to add them to our notes. Okay. All of these things that we see percents as. So I'm going to ask the key question here, which is how does a percent relate to a fraction? So first, before I go on, I just want to remind you that this sign right here means percent. Just so that you know, in case you hadn't seen it before. So how does a percent relate to a fraction? Well, right here with the definition, we wrote that a percent is an amount out of 100. When you have a fraction, you know that it's a part out of a whole. So fractions and percents can both be written as a percent. So a percent is a fraction out of 100. That means whenever you write a percent, it can be expressed with a denominator of 100. So the denominator is 100. Okay, let's do some examples. Up here, well, I did green already. Up here where I said you get 20% cash back, 20% is the same as 20 out of 100. So 20% can be written as this fraction, 20 over 100. Okay, I also talked about sales tax, and sales tax is about 8%. So 8% can be written as a fraction of 8 out of 100. Okay. I also talked about grades. Maybe you got 70% on a quiz or something. 70% can be written as 70